Protocol 5. The first collaboration, when microbes created the network of life. After microbes established Earth's homeostasis and stabilized the environment, the evolution of life did not stop at the ability to survive. The next step was not about creating larger bodies or more complex organs. The next step was the creation of relationships. Relationships are the foundation of all complex systems. The first relationship ever formed on Earth was not family, not social, and not moral. The first relationship was biological interaction between microbes. Microbes were the first beings to perform the two forces that would later define all life: competition and collaboration. No other organism existed before them to do so. No human relationship exists today that does not ultimately trace its roots back to mechanisms microbes established billions of years earlier. The first collaboration, exchange of energy and information. When microbes lived in stable environments, they discovered ways to extend that stability through interaction with one another. The first collaboration was not about kindness, not about empathy, not about consciousness. The first collaboration was an exchange of efficiency. Microbes capable of one type of metabolism worked alongside microbes performing another. Each species completed a different segment of the energy cycle, creating mutually supportive nutrient flows. This was the birth of ecological networks, not as a plan, but as a natural consequence of continuity. Microbial collaboration was Earth's first algorithm, a pure algorithm designed to maintain system stability. The first competition, selection in its earliest form. Microbial competition was not physical warfare. The first competition was a competition of efficiency. Microbes that could utilize energy faster survived. Microbes with stronger membrane protection survived. Microbes that replicated more reliably survived. Microbial competition was not about strength, it was about optimization. This principle would later be inherited by all subsequent life, including humans. Every market, every political ecosystem, every social structure is a distant reflection of the first informational competition conducted by microbes. Symbiosis, the victory of collaboration over isolation. One of the greatest events in the history of life was endosymbiotic symbiosis. This was the birth of the modern cell. Symbiosis was not peace, it was the most effective survival strategy. The most monumental example: a microbe consumed another microbe, yet instead of being digested, the consumed microbe remained alive within the host. Both eventually provided metabolic advantages to each other. This was the origin of mitochondria, chloroplasts, and all complex structures within eukaryotic cells. In other words, eukaryotes, the ancestors of plants, animals, and humans, are products of microbial collaboration. Biofilm, the first city on Earth. When microbes began to gather, they formed structures known as biofilms. A biofilm is a community, a colony, a shared nutrient system, a collective defense mechanism, a chemical communication network, a sanction system for non-contributors, and a long-term stability structure. Biofilms were the first cities on Earth, long before humans learned to build civilizations. Chemical communication, the first language of life. Microbes communicate, not through sound, but through chemical signals. These signals inform population density, energy needs, incoming threats, when to stop dividing, when to form new colonies, and when to alter metabolic strategies. This moment is known as quorum sensing, the first language on Earth. The eternal principle of the microbial world. The first acts of collaboration and competition carried out by microbes were not minor events. They were the original architecture of all living systems, including human systems. From the microbial world we learn that collaboration arises not from kindness but from the need for stability. Competition arises not from hostility but from differences in efficiency. Communication arises not from thought but from the need to synchronize action.